O'clock. I'd like to call this meeting to order. Wednesday, July 24th, 2024, and we are at the Matlock Grange Hall. So let's start with the flag salute. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay. So now we have the roll call, and I guess that is Val this time. Mary, you can.
Commissioner number 1, Young.
Here.
Commissioner 2, Ingram.
Here.
Commissioner 3, Purcell.
Here.
All here.
And we have one guest,
And special guest, would you like to just
Trevor Sanders.
Trevor Severance from
Severance.
West Mason.
welcome? Okay.
And Mason County Sheriff.
Okay, we'll have talk about adjustments to the agenda, and I just want to go over a couple of things because I think we had some changes from the one that got posted. So the first change that I know of is under the approval of the minutes, payment of vouchers number 24 to 34 in the amount of $6,186.96. That's a change from what we inadvertently had last meeting's amount on there.
Oh, and that was changed too on.
Right, this
three
is the
different ones.
correct number though. And then also we added, under the unfinished business, we added the surplus policy, and under new business, we added assigning Val how do you say it? Chappell. Val Chappell as the public records officer. So, and I don't think I have any other modifications. Do either of you guys have any changes?
I do not, Madam Chair.
David? Okay. All right, let's move on to approval of the minutes. And we have, let's see, let's start with July 10th. I have them in the wrong order. So under the minutes for July 10th, Val, I had one change. And this was my fault. When last meeting, I mentioned that I was going to attend the Central Mason Fire Commissioners meeting on July 11th. It was not that. It was the Mason County Fire Commissioners meeting that I attended. So that should be corrected, and that was, like I said, my fault. And then also under the good of the order, section D, I believe Kevin Bossard is spelled incorrectly. That should be Bossard, isn't it?
B-O-S-A-R-D.
A-R-D. And then in two more sentences, Griffin, and that should be G-R-I-F-F-I-N. And I also would like to add at the end of that sentence about Griffin, or the next sentence, it says, because of the situation at Fire District 12, they're going to let them have it. I think they were going to let us have it at a discounted price. Is
$500.
Yeah.
Surplus to us for $500.
Right, so we're not getting it for free. Okay. Anything else, you guys?
No, I've reviewed the minutes. No other changes.
Okay. So, would anybody like us to read the minutes since we do not have it handed out? It is available on the website. Hearing nobody's interested in hearing it, then I would entertain a motion to approve the minutes for July 10th.
I move we approve the minutes for regular meeting July 10th, 2024.
I second.
Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
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 All opposed? Motion carries. And do, I have the, well, these shouldn't be the official ones. So do we have a, do you want to make the changes? And then we can sign them? Here's my changes here, and just ignore the ones on the second page. Okay, then we have the minutes for July 18th. And I have one change on that, Val. This was a special meeting where we attended commissioner training on Open Public Meetings Act and Public Records Act. Section A, you've got Open Records Act twice, so just eliminate A on that one. I'll give you that. And then, and, so do you guys have any
No.
changes? David?
Nope.
Okay. Hear a motion to approve?
I move that we approve the special meeting minutes of July 18th, 2024 as amended.
Second?
Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
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 Aye. All opposed? Motion carries. So there's that one. And then the minutes for July 3rd, I didn't find any changes on that. Do either of you have any changes that you'd like to suggest? No? Okay. So I would entertain a motion to approve July 3rd's minutes.
I move that we approve the July 3rd minutes.
Second?
Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. And we can sign this one. Okay. And now we have the vouchers. Let's see, where's the total sheet? Did one of you keep the total sheet? Oh, here it is. There it is. Okay. Okay, so we have vouchers numbers 24 to 34. Voucher number 24 is to Mike Brown in the amount of $82.85 for stamps, priority mail to Springbrook, and for the Fire District Post Office box rental. Valine Chappelle, $22.32 certified mail to former personnel. Garvey Foster, the attorney firm that's handling our lawsuit, $3,225.50 for legal fees for the lawsuit. Clay Hogan, this is voucher number 27, in the amount of $129.31, and that is for the cost of dumping garbage out of the fire hall. Kim Hogan, $29.38, voucher number 28, for cleaning supplies for the hall. Ron Klompkin is voucher 29 in the amount of $45.32, also for the Shelton Transfer Station for a run to the dump garbage out of the hall. Mason County Public Works, voucher number 30 is in the amount of $189.52, and that is a past due fuel bill from the county from March. MS Communications, what's MS? For
much
tech
is it for?
services.
Troy, yeah.
Oh, that's Troy.
That's Troy's other, the name of his company.
Oh, that's his oh, I'm sorry. Okay. MS Communications, voucher number 31, $541.28 for tech services. And that includes setting up our website, our Facebook page, taking care of a whole lot of tech issues that,
And there's more to come from that.
right. So he did a lot of work for us. Olympic Lock and Key, voucher number 32 in the amount of $191. And that was the cost to rekey the stations. Oh, sorry.
Yes, that was to come out and do some rekeying and making keys for all of the file cabinets that we did not
The
have.
file cabinet keys, okay. Sherman Security and Lock, voucher number 33, $1,654.28. And that was the cost to rekey all of our vehicles because they did not return the keys to us.
Correct.
So we can thank them for that expense. And then Trina Young, voucher number 34 in the amount of $76.20. And that was to send certified letters to former volunteers and staff demanding the return of our property. And that comes to a total of $6,186.96. Does anybody need to see these again?
No, we've reviewed them.
Okay,
I can explain anything.
all right. Do I hear a motion to pay the
Um,
bills?
The one locksmith, did I include for the command vehicle too then, for the county?
Yes, it was the tender, both ambulances, and the command vehicle. And the 2017 Ford F-450 ambulance and the command vehicle both required key fobs. So that was part of it, and he had to reprogram them to the apparatus to lock out the other key fobs that were not turned in.
And then the
Are-
Olympic key must have been for also the canopy on the
Yes, the Olympic,
brush truck?
yeah. They came out and did the canopy because we didn't have any keys for it. They also,
Okay.
they made 2 sets of keys for 4 different cabinets that are in, file cabinets that are in the station. And they rekeyed the kitchen door, which never had been rekeyed. Battery was taken out of it, but it's now rekeyed on the same key. And they were going to rekey the pump house and the back door that comes into the pump room with the same key. We just have to buy different types of doorknobs for them.
Okay,
Good.
all right. Do I hear a motion to pay the bills then?
I move we approve payment of vouchers 24 through 34 in the amount of $6,186.96.
I second.
Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. And we gotta sign that too. Okay, commissioner comments. I attended the West Masons meeting through Zoom tonight before I came here, and it was very interesting hearing the things that you guys were talking about, Trevor, and I wanted to thank West Mason for lending the use of their aid vehicle to Fossils, the Friends of Schaefer and Lake Sylvia State Park, for the 100th anniversary of the park. We had some West Mason staff, and we also had some of our Fire District 12 volunteers were able to attend. And it was an amazing amazing thing to be able to have that kind of coverage and the comfort to know that we had that emergency service there. We were very surprised. We had over 800 people at the park that day, so that was a huge benefit to have that. And also, the day before, I think you guys found a whole bunch of swag in the hall. They were able to hand out over 100 kids water bottles and crayons and stickers. So the kids got a lot of fun and education out of that too, so that was good. Let's see. When I attended the Mason County Fire Commissioners meeting a few weeks ago, I gave a report on the status of our district, and they were all very kind, and they asked us to create a wish list of things that we were in need of and to bring it to their next meeting. They're willing to help us out with things that we're in need of, so I thought that was really nice. I would also like to thank our volunteers who have been working very, very hard at the hall. Almost every day they're down there cleaning the station, cleaning the vehicles, getting it ready to roll so that when we do have insurance, we will be able to use those vehicles. And they were a filthy, filthy mess. I can't believe how awful they are. And these people have worked really hard, day in, day out, 6 o'clock in the morning. Some of them are down there. It's just crazy. And I just wanted to let them know that we are very much appreciate that. And anybody that wants to stop by the hall and help out, anytime you see those doors open, people are there, and you can stop and put in some hours if you want to help. There's all kinds of stuff to do still. So, and we're also looking for people to help us do inventory. That's our next. Well, we've got started on it, but we got interrupted a little bit, so we got to get back on that and get that inventory done right away. And we need help doing that. So, and other than that, I think that's all I have. Steve?
Thank you, Trina. I would just make one addition and echo everything you said about our volunteers, and that is that all the vehicles and maintenance, and when you see them actually clean and shine, they are now that way, or very much so, and that was an extraordinary amount of work already, and there's much more to do, and again, that's appreciated, and checks in the mail for more appreciation in that regard. Apologies, I wasn't terribly active this week. I was a little under the weather over the late last week and early this week, but gave me a chance to digest the Commissioner's Handbook that was passed out to us a few meetings ago. And one thing that caught my attention, at least as far as near-term stuff, is that I think I'm obligated to publicly declare my intention for stipend as a commissioner. And I recall 2 or 3 meetings ago, or maybe 3 or 4 before I was seated, that there was a resolution in that regard, Madam Chair.
Yes.
And I declare, consistent with my fellow commissioners, stipend for 1 day or meeting,
One meeting.
a month, nothing retroactive, please, and if that needs a new resolution, or do I need to sign on to the...
Was that a resolution? I think it was
Or
just a motion.
A motion?
Yeah.
I make a motion that I adhere to that same.
Okay, I second it. Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
I,
All opposed, motion carries.
and that's all I have for today, thank you.
Okay. David?
I just want to reiterate the thank you for all of you that are watching, that have been down there washing those vehicles. I've driven by several times, and I know that they've washed a couple of them, like maybe 3 times, 4 times to get them clean. And it's pretty impressive to see everybody down there just, I mean, really scrubbing the grime off. it's kind of nice to see that actually happening for once. So I just want to thank the volunteers that have been coming down there and doing all that work.
And I forgot a couple things, so I want to add a few more. I was contacted since the last meeting by a taxpayer asking about insurance and wanting to know
Sorry.
what we have to do to, because their rates have gone up already so much, and so I explained to them that it takes at least 5 volunteers, correct me if I'm wrong, Mike, in a particular area for the insurance rates to go down.
Correct.
And so I encouraged him to contact his neighbors. This person was up at Lake Nawatzel, and I encouraged them to talk to the neighbors and get some folks to come and volunteer so we can help with the insurance issue.
I sent him the same thing, basically.
Okay. And then also I had another community member contact me about status, and I apologize for, I forgot to print her email off, but I know that she wanted a status update regarding the audit. And we have met this last week with the auditor. We didn't meet with them, that we talked to them over the Zoom and give them a status report of where we're at. We have collected some additional documents that we were able to find to give them, and as soon as our financial system is totally where it's supposed to be, and I think that we will probably be scheduling a meeting in the near future. Am I understanding that right, Mike?
She was going to schedule another one possibly next week, a 2-week
Okay.
window.
Okay,
And yes, she wanted us to try to backfill our Springbrook program. And that is going to be very challenging, so it's going to take time, but she's very understanding of it too.
okay,
She said with everything we're going through, the audit is a low priority.
right,
So they are understanding what we're going through.
okay. Let's see, there was more that she wanted to know about the audit, the status of the investigation into the theft of items from the district, and
I was like to say it's ongoing.
it's ongoing, but we are in constant communication with them.
Yes.
We are collecting records that they still are, and part of that is the inventory. We need to get that inventory done so that both the law enforcement and also we need the inventory for, what was the other one that we were getting the inventory for, the insurance or the audit?
No, more for the audit.
The audit, yeah. So that inventory is really important to get. So we've got to get that done.
I can address that more in my comments.
Okay. And Kristen, I apologize if I've forgotten something. I will contact you if there is something missing.
I'm going to address her.
Okay. So that was, I think that's all I had now. So,
Just
let's,
a bit to add to.
yeah, okay, David?
Today while I was at the fuel dump, I didn't catch the name, but somebody from Central Mason came up to me and said, "Hey, you're a commissioner from 12, aren't you?" I go, "Yeah, because you guys keep up the good work, we're all watching." So I just wanted to pass that on.
Nice.
And one other thing, I want to thank Val for
Oh, yeah.
doing the rat race in there and going over and above what an administrator should have to do. Thank you.
Definitely. Thank you, Jay.
Indeed. And not to pile on, I had a chance encounter with the chair of Fire District 13, who also has offered, support and
Nice.
well wishes, and impressed with how this community is responding to restore this fire district.
Everybody's is very impressed with our community spirit down here, you guys, so keep it up. We need your support. Okay, moving along to the chief's report. Mike?
Okay, so speaking of the investigation, I'd like the board's permission. um, s- The FBI agents are coming down tomorrow, and I'd let them take 2 computers that we found upstairs. And so I'd like to have your authority to sign and give them the authority to go on the hard drives and look for anything they want.
Okay. Do we have, that needs to be a motion?
Should be.
So I make a motion that we give Mike authorization to sign off on what law enforcement needs in order to access those hard drives.
I second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you. And they do want to talk to us about inventory that they have, their forensic audit, I think, is done. So I think they would like to have me look that over of what's there on the audit and what we actually have in our possession. I've got a pretty good idea of what we have around. So we will be going through that tomorrow. They might want to talk to you also, Chair.
Okay.
So they said they would let me know tomorrow, and
Okay.
we'll figure that one out. As far as the website, we're still trying to get, Troy is doing an outstanding job. He's got it up, but he's got to train us to be able to administer the website. And so I've talked to Commissioner Young and Val if they would be the admin on it. Overall, I'm the overall responsible for it by what my job is, but that would take a load off my shoulders. So as soon as Troy can get back out, I'll get you up there and we'll do the training on it, and I'll let you guys do that on the Facebook.
Sounds good.
One of the things that Kristen, who, man, she is so smart at what she does. Kristen, thank you. She sent me a link to her website at PUD1. And what they do is they actually post the packet that we give the commissioners. They don't just do the agenda. They put the whole packet so that everybody can see the packet, which is an awesome idea. So I'm going to talk to Troy about that, and the way that she set it up is very, very simple and easy. And I'm going to see if we can do the same thing. Because what we're giving them isn't a secret, it's open public, you
Right.
know? The bills would be there. You'd actually be able to go on the website and not just see what the voucher numbers are and for the amount. It would tell you who the bill's to and for why. You know, and we can generate those reports. And whatever else we get, the minutes that are going to go before the board for approval, they'll all be in there. So, working on that. Insurance. I talked to Pam from Nicholson today. The underwriters are done with it, and they've sent it off to the actual insurance company to see if they'll write the policy. So,
That
we're hoping
is
that,
awesome.
I'm hoping that goes well, and hopefully we can get something going. I made it quite clear to her last night, we had a structure fire, our first structure fire, since we've come back as a fire department. And not being able to roll out with our own apparatus was not only very sad, you know, for the people that lost their structure, but boy, it's just hard not to go and just break the rules and grab it and roll. And thank you to West Mason. Those guys did an outstanding job, got there as fast as I think anybody could have got there. It had went wildland also, and so by the time 9 o'clock rolled around, we were done and getting out of there. Everything was wrapped up. Wildland was done, turned over to DNR. Station 1, all the apparatus in there, the maintenance is pretty well done except for some small minor stuff. It could all, if we had insurance, it could all roll. There's still minor things that's got to be done. The engine material's got to go up, have a pump test done on it. Some more maintenance. but it is roadworthy and safe. Another thank you to West Mason. Last Wednesday, we went and we did the classroom portion of the EVIP, which is our Emergency Vehicle Incident Prevention Program. That's what allows us to get around having to have a CDL to drive apparatus. So as long as we're trained in that, our people are trained in that, and they're rodeoed and actually taught the vehicles, that's what allows us to respond. And that even goes for the big tender. And we
So-
couldn't do the rodeo portion because their insurance would not allow us to drive their vehicles because we do not have insurance. So once we get insurance, we will rodeo on our own vehicles. Tonight, everybody's there, that's why I think you see a small crowd. West Mason is training first aid certification. So everybody that's down there tonight will be certified, get their certificate for first aid. We'll have to do CPR, and then that actually is what we need to do for responding. You had a question?
No.
Okay.
You answered it.
So we talked about the inventory. I've got the ESO program, which is our reporting program. It's supposed to be inventory also. I haven't found that portion of it. I've just kind of found the incident portion of it. And I'm still trying to negotiate that and work with them and get some training on that. So that program is coming around. That's also the program like when West Mason's EMTs come out or Central Mason's medics come out and you see them doing their tablet. That's part of this program. So eventually we will move into that once we get EMTs and stuff, but there's so much to it. And so once I get the once I negotiate how to do it, or navigate it, I should say, navigate through it, then the inventory will start coming together. A lot of the inventory is done at Station 1. When you walk in there, everything you see out there on the tables, stuff has been inventoried. The apparatus have been inventoried. So we're getting there. And then the structure fire last night, it was a mom with her little, like, 4-year-old boy. They lost everything. We have talked to them. They have given us permission to post it on our
Okay.
websites and Facebooks
I was going
and
to do
ask for donations because they lost everything. Her little son basically was wearing the diaper he had on. Everything else was in there. They barely made it out in time the way it was. So anybody that's listening, please, this family needs help and they're part of our community. They need financials, they need food, they need everything.
Chief, you get that over to us, we'll post it on our check.
Will do.
Thank
I
you.
will post it over.
Thank you.
And structure fire last night, we had 2 of West Mason's show up in the engine that did a fantastic job. Aiden and, oh, she's going to kill me for not saying
Charlotte.
Charlotte. And Chief Welander, they did good. So, they did very well. And we had 8 people there assisting. So, we had a good turnout of our own. It was just a shame we couldn't roll on it. And I think that about does it. It's the same thing. Thank you for the people that are coming in from the community volunteering to work in our station. They know that we're not insured, that we can't cover them, but they're waiving that right to come in and just clean and clean and clean, so.
Mike, I had some questions, and I probably should have brought this up under comments maybe, but in the minutes from the July 10th meeting, you mentioned a few things. I think there's 3 things that you wanted to do, and I don't know if we needed to make a motion to do those regarding the budget and something you wanted to purchase.
Okay, surplus.
Oh,
Yes,
yeah,
I
sure.
still, There's nothing to do tonight. I'm waiting for the Lloyd with US Fire, who did the original examination on it, wrote up all the things that were wrong, is going to give me a value. He
Okay,
works, I mean, his whole life is fire apparatus. Once he gives me the value, then I would like to put it up for surplus. I'll have that, hopefully by the next meeting,
okay,
I'll have the correct paperwork in front of you so you can make an informed decision
okay,
on the surplusing of it. And that, but this, even though it might be, say if he says it's worth 30,000, just made up number, we can still surplus it to a district in need for much, much less.
good,
The same as Griffin is doing for us,
that's great,
because they know what our budget looks like.
okay,
So there's different ways to do surplusing, but when it comes to fire apparatus, you can even do an governmental transfer at no cost. I mean, there's ways to help. There's districts that are worse than we are.
right,
We've done it before to where, you know, like, I remember in the past surplusing, I think it was an old Mack engine, and that went to Hump Tulips. And that became their first out engine because it was better than anything they had, but it was wore out. We got it from Tacoma. I mean, so we think we're having issues. There's Medical Lake. Medical Lake? No. The lake that's over just on the other side of the mountains. You go north out of Ephrata. Anyway, they took our 78 and we sold it to them for $2,000. And that became their first out engine as a town. So,
wow,
you know, I mean, their district's in need, so I'm hoping we find a good home for it. That was one of the things. So the ESO, I've already purchased that.
okay,
We're still kind of working on moving the money of how we're going to do it. We found out that we can do it. We don't have to draw everything out of the general fund. There's two ways to do it. You can draw out of the general fund, and then you move money from EMS in to cover that portion, which is going to be done monthly, but to me, once we do that, if we deposit something into the general fund, then it needs to go in the bars lines, because we're showing that we're taking money out of those bars lines, and all of a sudden there's this other money in. So we found out, like, District 17, they still called that their commission severance, you know, are they?
Yes, they're still District 17.
Okay, so District 17, they do what we used to do. So they actually cut two checks. One's out of account 040 and one out of 010. And then so like if Springbrook, if we were paying that bill, we could take 80%, since 80% of our calls roughly are EMS. We could take that out of the EMS fund, which would be 040. That 80% amount is cut in one check. The other 20% would be cut in the second check out of 010. You put them in the same envelope. They add up to what they're asking for. And I think it's a cleaner way, more auditable of how we are taking out of the bars lines and doing our budget. So I'm still looking at that today. I stopped and talked to finances today. Excuse me. Oh, yes, right. So the way the budget was done didn't even have, all the bars lines weren't correct. And so like Springbrook is a good example. She had it all in the general fund. There's not even a bars line for Springbrook on the EMS side. So I'm trying to redo the budget to where we can pull it out that way. It won't be this transferring money all the time.
so basically, so everything's accounted for.
Yes,
as
we can show where every dollar went, what account it came out, and at the meeting here, it's more transparent, because we're not asking, you know, okay, let's transfer 50,000 over to cover bills that no. I can actually show you guys on bars line, how much we started with in this bars line, how much has been used out of it, what's remaining, and the way it should be done.
I would like at some point to talk about having a regular budget report for the public once
If-
we get it,
Once this budget
Up and
gets
going.
redone,
yeah.
there is a report that should be in every packet, every meeting, that tells you commissioners exactly where the budget's at, how much has been used of it, how much remains of the overall budget, and also does each bars line the same way. Well, if it's in your packet, then it's also going to be on our website.
Okay,
So it will give the district
good.
that exact numbers.
That's
Everybody
good. That's
lives
what
here.
we need.
One thing I did not cover, I signed a contract today for actually $4,480. $3,400 of that is so we could do payroll. That was not in the original Springbrook. I'd requested to be there. I thought it was not. And there's an additional, I think it's $1,200. The actual program, not $1,000. The actual program for doing payroll is $3,400 a year. The other portion of that is for training hours to train us how to do it. But if we don't use all those, that money is not charged to us.
Oh,
Okay.
that's nice.
We did payroll today for an hour, not even an hour, because I did PO numbers in. We will do another session on Friday, once we have to get everybody added into payroll, just like we did with the vendors.
Okay,
And with addresses and everything, we're going to be working on that tomorrow. We should be able to get everybody in, and then we'll do a little more training on it. And payroll, we have to get some answers from LNI for Val's rate, for unemployment, if we have to pay unemployment, where she's part-time or not, we're not sure. And there's also a new law about long-term care
Yeah.
coverage,
oh, yeah.
and whether she has to pay for that or not. My idea, and maybe we can bring it before the floor tonight, is we, on the volunteer side, we pay their medical, which is $30 a year, and we pay their retirement, $60 a year. Nothing, we don't make them do a matching. My recommendation to the board is we do the same with Val for the LNI, that we pay the whole amount. If she does have to do the long-term care thing, that we pay for it. I mean, it's just, otherwise, it's taxes, it's extra taxes that the governor put on the paychecks. So that is my recommendation to you guys. If you agree, that's the way I just want to set it up.
Do you need a motion?
I would like a motion so it's in writing
Is-
that we
and
pay
is
this stuff this is for Val.
Okay.
LNI, long-term care if needed, unemployment. No, neither one of us have contracts yet because we're interim. So once we have contracts, this would actually be part of the contract. But
Okay.
as long as we're in the interim position, I think it needs to be a motion.
Okay. So it's for L&I, long-term care, and retirement?
No retirement.
No retirement.
Unemployment.
Unemployment.
And we have to check to make sure that she does, that her 96 hours is where she has to do that or not. Stuart was unsure what the law, how the law read is for part-time people, so. we have to-
Chief, I'd recommend
wait?
that we answer those questions before we make a motion on that,
Yeah.
so that we understand the
I,
full lay of the land of
we can,
what
but
can,
we'd like to do payroll next.
yeah.
Have payroll before you guys. Because
So it-
commissioners haven't been paid since we've been here, and the motion was made. The motion was made back then, so we are behind on commissioner pay.
Oh, no.
Val's pay will be coming up, her month will be over, it'll be into the next month. So if
So it's a total of,
if you would like the answers, then have a special meeting prior to, or you can just give us the latitude that we pay all three, and if she's not required to have all three, then we pay what is required.
okay, and so it'd be a similar amount than $90 total that we'd be paying for her.
We don't know that yet.
That's what we don't know.
Yeah,
We don't
Okay.
know.
Yeah.
We have to get her L&I rate as a secretary, or administration type position. And then the other two, we just have to find out, does she do it? And like the long-term care, I think that is a percentage. That's just like a regular tax. And it's, according to him, it wasn't very much.
Okay,
So,
It's like 58 cents for every $100.
yeah.
okay.
I think I need to understand, like I said, the architecture of that, and no problem with the construct or concept,
Okay.
but I need to understand if that's a pay raise contrary to what we publicly disclosed the pay rate is, or if that's another administrative way to do that. And
Okay.
what elements are required and what.
I would not look at
are
that as a pay raise. The pay is not changing. It's the amount coming out of her check that
Right,
will
right.
change.
Right.
But yes, we'll find all
Or where
that.
it comes from, because it's coming out somewhere.
It's coming out of her, it's coming out of her check.
Right.
Part of it's ours in the first place.
Okay, gotcha.
So, like, L&I, there's an employee part and our part unless
Right.
we pay the whole thing.
Gotcha.
And it's the same with the other. It's either we pay it or she pays 100% of the other,
Understand.
of the long term.
Okay. So,
If you want to table it, we'll figure it out.
want to table it? You want to amend your motion?
I don't think I made a motion, I just wanted to understand more before.
Yeah, if you want.
The
Oh,
motion is
okay,
made,
okay.
I guess, yeah,
Okay,
that works.
so we don't have to do anything?
Mm-mm.
Okay. All right, anything else, Mike?
No, I think that answers all your questions, does it not?
I think so,
Yes.
yes, okay. Anything more to your report?
The surplus brush truck, I have not heard from them this week. I know that the chief said he had to run it through their admin, get the proper paperwork done, and then we would actually be sent a bill. And I might touch base again with him tomorrow and see if.
This is the one we're getting?
This is the one we're
from
getting, which is a 99.
Griffin?
From Griffin.
Okay,
Griffin, I think it's Griffin 13. And it's a 99. I'd said it was 98, but it's a 99 F550. So we've already, it's sitting, the VIN number and everything is sitting with the insurance company already. So as soon as it's in our hands,
so do we know how much?
She'll submit it, 500.
For 500, okay. That's a screaming deal.
I do not have a price on the skid that they also want to surplus. So I'm
Okay.
gonna check on that, see if they come up with anything. That's all I have unless you have more questions.
Okay.
Val's working my tail into the ground. She needs to mellow
I
out.
hear she's putting up with a lot, too.
She's putting up with me.
Okay. All right, then, let's see, public comment. Does anybody have any comment they would like to make?
I have a question.
Yes.
About the training and stuff that's happening, is there a way to know that that's happening, or are you going to get the rest of us at a later date, or?
Yes, you'll be able to go into the makeup when I go into it.
Okay.
Because I need it too. When I have your volunteer applications that you guys filled out tonight, and we get everything looks right, and I get you entered into the Board of Volunteer Firefighters, then your active 911 will be reactivated.
Okay.
That's how I put it out today. I made my own active 911 call, or what do you want to call it, and as a training, and it said where it was at and the time and what it was.
If we're taken off of it, I would.
Right. So for now, until we get you into the Board of Volunteer Firefighters, you have no insurance to do anything. Because, and DEM didn't come, so maybe I should bring that in my comments too, if you don't mind stepping back a little bit.
No, that's fine.
I thought Department of Emergency Management was going to be here. The declaration is still in effect as far as they're concerned until we get insurance, but all emergency workers' cards are now expired and it is over with. Since I had the majority of the people already on the Board of Volunteer Firefighters. So the very few, 3 of them are here tonight, that I didn't have applications for, so part of that is DEM would shut down the active 911, which, because they're no longer, nobody is under them anymore as far as workers. That portion of it is done.
I
So-
believe you mentioned that at the last meeting
Right.
too. I was going to ask if, because I think we publicized it also, and so
Right.
has any others volunteered, accepted that invitation to volunteer?
I have 3 tonight. I have another one coming in Monday. He's a younger guy that's, I think he's probably 18, 19 that wants
Oh.
to volunteer, go through the academy and stuff. I actually ran into him at the Bear Festival, and he's from out here, so he's going to come in Monday and fill out an application.
That's great.
3 more tonight, but they were who we were working with before.
Right.
So,
Thank you, guys.
And they're all in the medical field. So I was sweating the load. They didn't want to come back. And so this is, we are still getting them. And I am talking to a few people about the physical requirements involved in it, you know, because, and because we can just have EMT, you know. I don't have an issue with that. Everybody has to be qualified to act as a firefighter, which is, you have to know how to do an extinguisher, basically. But if they want to be on the EMT side only, more power to them. So it's still coming along. There's 20 of us that are on the Board of Volunteer Firefighters now. I have 3 more applications. They will go through quickly because we've already worked with them. They've already went through the CERT training. And so that'll take us up to 23.
And then the one on Monday.
And then another one on Monday, but I don't know the person very much, so I've got to talk to them a little bit.
Okay.
And background checks need to be done at some point along the line when I can figure out how we're going to pay for background checks.
I was listening to the West Masons meeting tonight, and they mentioned those are, that they have a company that they go through, and it's $70 per person to do those.
Do you know, or do they bill you, or?
Actually, that, the one I was talking about, that was 70, would be for a full employment background.
Oh, okay.
The criminal background, if you talk to Chief Seals, he's got that, it's actually like $40 a person, just to do a criminal background check.
Do you know if it's billed, or?
I don't know.
Before, when we did it, we had to have a card, you know, to where we,
Yeah, you could touch base with him.
I'll talk to him.
Something.
I'll
He's
get
got all the details on that. but-
I'll get in touch with him tomorrow, and I need to talk to him about coming out for a barbecue in the near future anyway.
Because we're looking at, we have to do them for paid employees, so that's where the $70.
Okay.
Okay. Did that answer all of your questions? Okay, good. Any other public comments? Kristen, do you have anything? Nope. Thank you for coming. Bob, Karen? Ray? Any of you guys have any? Okay.
We are getting complaints from people in the audience of Mason Web TV that we're too boring. Yeah, we thought maybe you guys could liven it up.
Can you juggle, Chief?
Yeah, no, I'm juggling, but you can't see it.
Okay, all right then, we'll move on then to unfinished business. We had Commissioner and Secretary training. Mike, were you going to talk about that? You want me to?
You can if you'd like.
We had a delightful 4-hour meeting. I can't even remember when it was, last week, I think.
Last
Um, And learned way more than we imagined we would be learning about public records and Open Public Meetings Act. So it was an excellent seminar. I wished I'd had it 20 years ago. I've learned a lot, and I know all of us had our eyes opened about several things that we did not know about, so it was great. Our attorney, Eric Quinn, put the training on for us, and so we will be evaluating all the things we learned and implementing them, and trying our best to stay on the, straddling the line there of what we're doing. Surplus of the ambulance, you already talked about that?
Yes.
Okay. And then policies. We have policies that Mike kindly drafted for us, and I don't think we've got all of them,
No,
but we do have
still working on it.
the nepotism, the petty cash. Was it just those two?
And the surplus policy isn't really called surplus, it's the one you have in your hand.
Inventory,
It is the,
where did it go? I think I gave you mine, I think.
yeah, fiscal asset management.
Fiscal asset management. Okay.
And that's still in work. I'm kind of wanting your input on these.
Okay.
Uh,
So all these, you just kind of want
The
some feedback?
nepotism, I put into play, I can still edit it. And I approved the petty cash.
Okay.
That was the hardest, it took the longest out of all of them.
The petty cash policy, you guys, is simply that we will not have one.
Yay.
We shall not.
So the nepotism policy, Mike, and you guys eventually will see this, but it talks about conflicting relationships, and it has a definition of relative. And the definition in the policy is an employee's parent, step-parent, spouse, domestic partner, significant other, child, either natural, adopted, or stepchild, sibling, or grandparent. And I think that it would, because this isn't banning these relatives from working, it includes them in the rules where they cannot have conflicts. And I would like to include parent in-laws, and I guess you call it child in-laws, like daughter-in-law, son-in-law, because we've had that very
In-law relative.
example
Yes.
in the past. So I would like to add those four to the policy. That would be my input on it. Do either of you guys have anything you?
I have one, Chief, and having reviewed the policy, I think it's pretty sound. But I would say, again, just back to our common Navy background, there's a lot of shoulds in there, and I'd like you to identify where things should be shall, will, or more directive in nature rather than,
The
Leave it up to-
policies with the shoulds and the shalls are more concurrent to what the Washington state law
Okay.
says. And so that's why they say should instead of shall, because that's the way the law says it.
got it. I'm okay with being more stringent with than the law.
I am too.
In our
And if
present
you want anything
environment.
shall, change to
Well,
shall,
or will, if that's less
that's even less than a
military,
should.
you know, but, yeah.
Yes.
When our policies leave up
You can go stronger.
determinations
Yeah.
to, you know, the individual, when it's policy, then we-
Your copy of the inventory one, the asset management one. Just, I reviewed it at home and I gave you one copy. The only question I had on this one is where it talks about what are physical assets, computers or electronics, would that be included under tools and equipment?
Or anything that we have in our inventory, computers,
Okay,
it's a physical asset, isn't so much what's on the apparatus, but computers would fall under desk, whatever's physical to
okay,
the,
so
to the
it
station.
covers that.
Right.
Okay, that's all, that's the only question I had on that one.
Okay.
Steve, David, anything on that policy? Okay. So the next meeting, you will have the final versions of these?
Of those, and working on the others, I've talked to other districts about the tracking of legal accruals. We haven't even touched that one because I don't know if Bias or Springbrook, excuse me, if that's part of the program,
Okay,
because payrolls, we haven't touched it yet.
okay, that's fine.
So, vehicle use policy, everybody I've talked to, the vehicle use policy is, the only one that it would affect is the command vehicle.
Okay,
Everything else is strictly fire or EMS use only. And that, from my understanding, is pretty well in the contract. So I haven't found anybody that's actually got a policy on it yet.
okay,
Fuel usage policy, there will be one that I'll probably have to make that from scratch, and it will, I've already been talking to the county, matter of fact, they've sent the ILA, or not ILA, mutual aid agreement to me. And I explained to them that we're gonna go back to what we did there, is forms were made, and
records kept.
and you kept it every time you did it. Every time you took an apparatus to get fuel, there's no other way we're going to get fuel. That apparatus is going to go there and get it. The person operating that apparatus has to fill the form out with the mileage, the date, the mileage, the apparatus, diesel, how much gallons, and they tear that off and it is submitted to me when they get back.
Wow.
And then I take that and bounce it against what the monthly report.
Good,
So if there's anything that's on the report and I don't have a form for it,
doesn't get paid for.
it will show me the ID of the person that's doing it. That's actually pumped the fuel, then would have an issue. But that's the way that I can audit monthly on how it's done. So I will make a policy on that.
Long overdue.
Long overdue. And staff use of district assets, there is kind of a policy in Lexipol already. I haven't really fine-tuned it, but hopefully I can also work in these others. I don't know if I can get them all done in 2 weeks with everything we're going through, but I would say within the next month, because I'm also putting out other policies at the same time that were not issued from
Okay.
Lexipol that should be out there.
Okay. Sounds like you're plugging away at it, and if you need any help, holler.
Okay.
So, okay. Any other unfinished business? Moving on then to new business. Rachel Noga's contract. That's is that what you were going to talk about?
Okay, I'll this is in here because of Eric Quinn. He's requesting that a motion be made not to renew her contract. Her contract expires August 31st of 2024, and there is cause not to. So it would be a non-renewable with cause because of the lawsuit we're going through for the public records request and the dereliction of duties that she performed while in that position. he would like he'd like the board to consider that as a motion to not renew, but she is still
On
on
suspension.
suspension without pay, with cause.
Okay. Well, I would make a motion then that we do not renew Rachel Noga's contract that expires at the end of August of 2024. But, let's see, we do not renew it with cause. And she will remain on suspended leave, or suspension. It's not leave,
No,
it's
suspension
without pay, yeah.
Correct.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor, say aye. Aye. All opposed? Motion carries. Okay. We have several thank you letters that we are sending out to the Schweitzer family, and I think it's a Schweitzer Family Trust, or...
It is.
And thanking them because they came forward and paid for the rental fees for the Grange for 3 months, which I think that ends this month. May,
Yes,
June,
there was,
July.
I think it was $450, so
So that was really nice of them, and so we wanted to thank them for doing that for us. We also have a letter of thanks to the Olympia Fire Department for the 24 radios and battery chargers that they donated to us, which were
surplus is the correct word.
surplused to us,
Did
okay?
those get all charged up, chief?
They did,
Awesome.
and programmed.
Nice.
And we had none. We had no communication, so this was badly needed, so.
So on the radios, remember where you paid the bill for MS?
Yes.
Communications. That is not Troy,
That is
that
those.
is Mike, who used to work for Day Wireless, came and programmed those.
Okay, that was for the programming. Okay, does that say that on that list? Maybe we should make a note of that so people know what that is. Val, I'll let you,
Figured out.
and then we can initial it. And then the third, and that, Olympia Fire Department, that went to Assistant Chief Kevin Bossard. And then we also have one to our own Commissioner Steve Ingram, who purchased an air conditioning unit for our office. And boy, have we needed it.
I promise, as soon as you have a minute, chief, we'll get it put in there.
I'm up for it. We have some cool weather right now. We're
We're
working
okay
good.
for the time being. How are you doing, Val?
She was wearing her coat today, so,
I had to put a sweater on this morning,
yeah.
so I didn't feel too bad.
Okay. We were supposed to have Bob Burbridge here from
Correct.
Department of Emergency Management to address the board,
John and
He
him
was-
both requested to be on here.
and they're not
And it
here.
was the state of the declaration, which I pretty well already cleared it up for you guys.
Okay,
It's still there, but the emergency workers are no more.
okay. Anybody have any question about that?
I
Okay.
do want to say, though, I don't think we'd be where we're at if they did not help us the way they did.
That is correct, and I can tell you, and I don't know about you, David, but that first day, I was deer in the headlights. What have I got myself into? And they were so helpful getting us lined out and helping us get started, so that was really wonderful.
Yeah, thank you to Emergency Management for allowing that to happen, for sure.
Okay, and then our next item is we need to assign our public records officer, which would be Val. And so I make a motion that the board assign Val Chappelle as our official public records officer. And she has gone through the training now with us last week. So do I hear a second?
Second?
Any question, any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. Thank you, Val. So, good of the order. Does anybody have any other new business before I move on? Okay. Good of the order, I was going to mention the family with the house fire, and you already did that, Mike, so we will make sure and get that on the website and Facebook soon.
Yes, if you can post it on yours too.
Yes,
It's
I will
been
put it
shared
on
once.
the other ones.
Yeah, that'd be great.
So, our next regular meeting is Wednesday, August 14th at 6 PM here. Do I hear a motion? Wait, is there any other good of the order? Does the public have any good of the order they want to mention? Kristen?
Oh, well, last night we had a structure fire in Ripplewood, and a mom with a 4-year-old lost their like 36-foot fifth wheel they were living in.
I
All
think she
closed.
had a daughter too, from what I saw.
It could be, I never met the
Boy,
boy, 4-year-old boy.
yeah, they need
Even
everything.
she needs clothes, I mean, they need everything, they lost everything.
So we'll post it on our website, the information and where to take it, that sort of thing.
And Wes Mason's gonna post it, see if we can get some help for him. The church was asking about it, I've got a text on it since I've been here, so I'm gonna stop talking.
Okay? All right. Now I hear a motion to adjourn.
Move we adjourn?
Second?
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, motion carries.
Fastest one.
I should have said aye. And the time is 7:12.